Hello and welcome to the Metabolic Balance ANZ Stories podcast. I'm Cherry Wills and I am your host today. I'm delighted to welcome a Metabolic Balance client who has done Metabolic Balance with a wonderful practitioner, Susan Jones. And she is here to share her story with us. So a big hello to Desiree. How are you?
I'm well, Cherry. How are you?
I'm good, and it's very exciting to meet you. And as I don't know your story yet, so I'm really keen to find out can you sort of paint a picture of where you're at and what led you to start with metabolic balance?
Okay, so I started back in October, the beginning of October in 2024. And I guess what stemmed me to begin metabolic balance is I saw one of my work colleagues just lose phenomenal weight over a 6 month period. So I thought about it for a while and we obviously chatted. And then at the same time I was going through some things at home, and obviously I was quite overweight. And then I went to the doctor, and obviously I had really high blood pressure. And obviously lots of things happen when you're carrying extra weight, so I just thought, you know what, if my work colleague can do it, so can I. So I basically got all the details from my work colleague and haven't looked back since, really.
Awesome. So would you mind just sharing a sort of a little bit about yourself? So how old are you and sort of what were you looking at sort of weight wise?
Okay, so I'm 44 and I'm looking at, so my initial goal at the moment is to lose 20. So I've already lost 12. So I'm just sort of setting myself small goals. Let's just get down to 70 and then we'll see how much further down I can get.
Yeah, awesome. So you're busy. Your mum. You're a mum.
I'm a single mum and I also work at a school. So yeah, so it just I yeah,
You've got a lot going on then. I mean,
busy. I'm busy. I guess I'm busy. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, exactly. Okay, so how did you find it?
To be honest, Susan was fantastic. She came and she had all the information. It was an easy process to explore, I guess. And I've obviously got my food plan, and I'm a organized type of person, so it took a little while, a week or two to get used to, your shopping list and what you should be buying, and doing your measuring and all that sort of stuff. But then I think it took me about 2 weeks to sort of get on top of all that. You got to be organized, and then it just kind of was really easy.
Yes. Do you think it was actually easier than what you were doing before?
Because before, well, yes, but obviously I've tried a number of different weight loss programs before, Light and Easy, Weight Watchers. But the thing that drew me to Metabolic Balance is the fact that it's based around my metabolism. So obviously, when I've compared what I can eat to my work colleague, and since obviously my work colleague has started, and since I've started, a few other colleagues have decided to start the program, and it's all different. There are some things that we kind of eat the same, but then there's so much that's so different. So I think that gives me great confidence, the fact that the foods that I'm eating are for me, and I know that they're for me because I feel great. I really feel fantastic. You know what I mean? So I know the foods that I shouldn't have been eating, but you kind of fall into that routine where, you start with your morning coffee and then you have, certain things for breakfast, and you know that they're no good for you. And I can really see the difference in my whole body, in everything, not just my stomach, or do you know what I mean? Like my skin's great, my cycle is great. So I just feel more energetic, and I just know that what I'm doing is really, really great because I feel fantastic.
Were you surprised at how much different you feel eating your foods?
Look, I think I had full faith that it would work, because I had seen it work with my work colleague. And I don't know, I'm a very trusting person. So I'll give something a go wholeheartedly. And I trust in, obviously Susan and how she's guiding me. So I just kind of knew that it would, to be honest, at the beginning, I was probably a bit hesitant because I just thought, I'm 44 and I might not be able to lose the weight. So, yeah, I guess there was a bit of hesitation there, because obviously I'm not 20 anymore. But no, so I was like amazed. And I really looked forward to my weigh-ins with Susan because I just felt so proud that it was easy to do and it was working and it was just easy. I just find it so easy.
Yeah, yeah. And how is it sort of, I mean, like, yes, we love the weight loss, but it is the other bits, isn't it? It's the other real life enhancing things. Like you said, you talked about your cycle there. What could you expand a bit on that? Because that's a big thing for so many women, especially in that perimenopausal, because you're perimenopause. Yeah.
So I probably find that it is shorter. I was never one to really have extreme pain. I would probably get more back pain than sort of stomach pain. But to be honest, now I probably just have a bit of pain on the first day, and it's also become shorter, and it's not as heavy either. Um, yeah, and obviously I'm not I don't have the I'm not PMSing or anything like that. Like well, you have to ask my partner about that, but I would have to say that I'm pretty steady, I think. I'm not so emotional about things. Because probably a week before, you kind of get all teary and angry and, have all these type of emotions, but pretty that seems to be pretty good. I think I'm pretty generally sort of on an even keel now. I think I'm more balanced. Yeah, well, metabolic balance, right?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And what about your sleep? How's your sleep these days?
Sleep is great. I mean, I don't think I really had issues sleeping before, but it's hard to remember because, Susan's like, oh, keep a note of how you feel, blah, blah, blah. But the thing that is triggering me the most is probably the tiredness. I'm not as tired as I felt before. Um, obviously, with the cycle, you do have elements of tiredness, and then when you're in the cycle, sometimes you're kind of wide awake. But I feel as though it's not as prominent as it was before I started the program.
Yeah. And do you see this? How do you see this moving forward? I mean, this is because you've already shared you've done quite a few diets over the years at various times, and you've seen they've stopped and started and stopped. How do you, and what would you say now with MB?
Well, it's a lifetime thing. And I mean, why wouldn't it be? Because you feel great. You know the foods that you should be eating. So yeah, okay, you can have your treat meals and your cheat days, but then you can always come back to the program, and you know that it'll work. So obviously, Christmas and New Year obviously fell in amongst.
How did that go? How did that go?
I was really good. I was really good. I must say that I didn't actually put on that much, to be honest. So obviously, I was trying to still eat well. So Christmas and then Boxing, and then obviously all those other days where we didn't have. Obviously, Christmas was sort of over. It was back to the routine. You know what I mean? So, and just being mindful of making better choices. Now I've got dark chocolate in the house because then if I do have a craving, it's dark chocolate. And just those little things, just being mindful of what you're putting into your mouth. And obviously, water is really important. And I love my apples. I'm enjoying my apples, and obviously eating every 5 hours, and just those things. Just making better choices about what you're actually eating.
So you see this as sustainable?
100%. 100%. Once I reach my goal, it'll be, Monday to Friday doing the program, and then letting loose a little bit on the weekend, but then coming back to it. You've got to, because you want to, because you just feel great. Why would you want to be not feeling great? You know what I mean? Yeah.
I think that's the thing that I often find, because I suppose one of the um, the criticisms that you can say that MB gets is that it's too strict, and it's, I mean, to me, I say it's focused to nourish your body in the way it's always kind of been designed to be nourished. I mean, 3 meals a day with drinking nice clean water and eating nice proteins, fresh fruit, veggies, and not having any processed foods except on occasion and keeping it to the minimum. I mean, that's kind of what it is. But I suppose you could, like, people could argue, oh, this means that you can't just eat out when I want to, and I can't just take, with, grab anything for work and all this kind of stuff. What would you say to that kind of, to that? I mean, like,
Well, the thing is, you can still eat out. You just have to think about your plan. That's what I do. You think about your plan, and because I obviously have a lot of fish in my plan, and I love fish. I don't have any actual beef, but I'm not missing it because I know that it doesn't agree with me. So I sort of already knew the foods that didn't agree with me. So beef, milk. I'm surprised that I can have yogurt, but obviously the yogurt I'm having is okay because obviously what I'm eating it with is okay. Do you know what I mean? Because I just got apple, mango, raspberries, strawberries, and I'm keeping away from the strawberries because of the pesticide element. Obviously, that just doesn't agree with me. So it's also, why do I want to have it if I know that it's going to make me feel unwell? So that's always at the forefront of my mind. Why am I going to eat that? I shouldn't be eating that because it's not going to agree with me. So let's not eat it and feel good.
so you're not missing out then?
No, I don't think I am.
No, I don't think you are either. I mean, I mean, this is exactly this. I know what I need to eat, and I know my boundaries, and I know how I want to feel. And that's really how I love going out, but I also know what I'm looking for on the menu. I know what I can look at the menu and I go, yeah, that's not going to work for me because I'll not feel well to rest, when I get home, or when I, tomorrow say, yeah, do you know what? I'm not missing out by not having that, because what I'm missing out on is sitting on the toilet or for the next 3 hours or something horrible. So it is actually just this knowledge of knowing, well, this is how I want to feel. This is how I want to feel now and tomorrow, and how I want to feel in 10, 20, 30 years time too. Because that's because, would you say that was also at the forefront of your mind as to why you kind of did commit to a lifestyle change? I mean, you're 44, perimenopausal. I'm sure you see people around you, women struggling, and even 50, 60-year-old women, 70-year-old women. I don't know. Would that be part of your motivation?
I would say so, yes, because I think I've always struggled with my weight. So I just really wanted to find something that I could just always have. Does that make sense? Like it's always there. It's my Bible. Do you know what I mean? It's my Bible. It's not for everybody. Like if you think about things like Light and Easy or Weight Watchers, it's a broad weight loss program, but I guess what makes MB unique is the fact that, it's for me. It's just me. So I just have faith in it that it's just for me. If that makes sense. Like I just feel I trust it more than with Weight Watchers. Yes, I did lose weight with Weight Watchers, but I just think no, having my own program gives me no excuse then to not go back to it and go, right, this is what we're doing.
Yeah, because that's it. That's exactly the truth, that you have got the knowledge and essentially the blueprint now that you can refer to and say, hey, yeah, I need to reset myself. I need to rejig things whenever, because it's also, I mean, like, I don't know, I'm breaking this to you, but you'll never, it's not that you do this once and hey, you are now fixed somehow against a 21st century lifestyle of stress and all the rest of it that we live in. I have to break that to you. We have to keep on sort of focusing in, rebalancing, resetting, looking after ourselves in a focused way. Then we can relax while we're on holiday and all that kind of stuff. But you know what you've got to do now, and you can just apply it.
That's right. And I think the fact that, in a way, it was kind of good that Christmas happened because it reassured or gave me even stronger belief in it. The fact that I really didn't put on weight at all. Do you know what I mean? So it was kind of like my body's already, I don't know, adjusted, or it's just, I don't know. I just feel different. It's more resilient. Yeah. So, and I think that's just given me even more belief in it. The fact that I just went, wow, because yes, I did have that chocolate, and yes, I did have those things, you know, that I don't have on my plan. You know what I mean? So, and I'm just like, oh, okay, I didn't skyrocket and put 5 kilos on, but I also didn't go crazy either. But I'm just like, yeah, I just feel like, no, this is absolutely just mind blowing how well it works. Yeah.
I mean, I would say that is how I see often the reset. The body resets really within that first 2 to 4 weeks. It's incredible how it does when you give it that real focus, and then the resilience and the strength and the balance just enhances the more you keep on going. I mean, I've been doing it now for like 12 years, so that's the yeah.
Yeah, wow. Wow. And have your foods changed over those years?
Yeah, I have actually. I mean, it's interesting you say, because when I first did it, how old was I? I would have been about 38, that 30, 39 when I got my first plan. And then I've got 4 plans actually in total, because I first trained in the UK. So nobody's asked me this question.
Okay, well there you go.
um, I trained in the UK and I got my first plan there. And then I came to Australia and I got myself an Australian food database plan. So I got 2 in fairly close succession. Then I got a new one in 2019, I think it was. Um, just because I was kind of feeling that perimenopausal symptoms were kind of probably kicking in a bit more. And I just kind of thought, you know what, things are a little bit different. So I do need to now know what I need to do now. And then I got a new one at the beginning of last year, because I'm 51 now. So I just felt that the menopausal kind of, and the stress, the stress of all the COVID years, and I just knew I needed to have a really good reset. And that's really kind of what I did again for myself last year. I had a really good reset, and it was just the best thing again. Because even as a practitioner, you don't always do what you need to do every day. You don't, but you know what you've got to do, and you know how to do it, and you know when it's the right time to lean in again. And that's what I would encourage you again to appreciate. You'll know when the right time is, whenever the right time is to reset and lean in.
And yeah. So do you feel as though your plan has changed a lot, or did it just change a little bit?
Oh, it's just the foods are different. The foods are different. Yeah, the foods are different, and different proteins. I think at different times of life you do, and that's what the analysis and the bloods identified. It identifies what would be the ideal foods for me, and there are a few things that were on the earlier plans that I don't have anymore, which I miss. I mean, like, I was also quite pleased to get chicken back. I know I think it was my second plan. I didn't have any chicken.
No chicken. Okay.
Yeah, no. So again, it's really cool to know this for yourself. And yeah, as a nutritionist, I still love just knowing what my foods are from MB. No question about it.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, it's great.
So the future, how do you feel? What's how do you feel about the future now? What do you feel really? Do you feel confident that you're going to feel good?
100%. Why wouldn't I? I've got my Bible with me, and like you say, obviously, of even after once I finish, because obviously I'm doing 6 months with Suzanne, and I just know that if I have any questions or I can reach out to her whenever, and obviously once we're finished with the 6 months and I get to my goal, and then I'll talk to her about, like what you said, like when is a good time to reset, when would I have to think about doing another test, to see if anything changes, because even Suzanne was telling me that her husband, obviously had he's had a few different plans, I think, and because obviously they're aging and whatever, and yeah, so it's definitely something that I'm thinking about, because obviously I'm going to be 45, and I know that your body does change. My body has changed from when I was 20 to now, so and I just want to ensure that I'm giving my body all the things that it needs without.
It's kind of exciting. It's exciting to know that you can do it with food, isn't it? That you can actually be in control of this by eating the real whole foods that you just buy from this fruit and veg place and the supermarket, and it's nothing like wacky about it. Which I think a lot of people have this idea that somehow there's something a bit strange about it, but it's not. It just isn't.
No. And you know what's really good too? I think we're also at a time now in 2025 that we can source everything from the local supermarket. It's not like, a couple of years ago where you had to go to like a natural store. Do you know what I mean? Like a health food store. Now you can get your ghee. Like I went to Aldi the other day and they're stocking ghee now. It's so easy to get coconut oil. Um, Actually, one of our fruit shops had red currants, but I missed it.
Oh, really?
I know, I know. I sort of thought one of my colleagues, she said, there's red currants. And I just went, oh, okay, awesome. And then the next day they were already gone. So anyway, I have to wait for next year or this end of this year. But it's okay. It's all right. But yeah, so that's what I love too. You can just get everything now locally. You don't have to go to a specialty store, and things are, relatively inexpensive. You know what I mean? Like, yes, there is a cost to it, but I just think, because that's another thing. People say, oh, how much did it cost? And I'm just like, you know what? It was worth it for me. You have to be fully committed, and obviously this is another thing that's making me committed too, is because I've spent this money and I want to do the right thing and, you know, um, ensure that it's going up. How can I say? I'm not articulating myself very well, but just ensuring that I'm doing the right thing because I have invested this money. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Have you saved money though?
I feel like I have, because I just think if you were to do light and easy or Weight Watchers for this amount of time, you would probably spend the same amount of money, if not more. But I just love the fact that it's just for you. It's so tailored to you. That's the biggest kicking card for me. Was you had your blood test and the results, and it's just my stuff.
And how can I ask as well, just as a mum? So just if we, because I think that there'll be mums listening and thinking, how do your kids feel? I mean, how old are your kids, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, I've got one child. He's 13.
Okay, so again, it's quite an impressionable age, 13. So what does he think of, like, seeing the difference in you or what you're doing? How's it gone out? How's it panned out?
Well, he loves the change. He loves the change because obviously he's quite, like you say, he's 13 and he was getting self-conscious as well. Do you know what I mean? And obviously I'm setting an example, being a great role model for healthy eating, and yeah, and it's easy. It's easy as long as you're organized, and you've got you got to obviously be organized and plan ahead. But, basically what I'm eating, the family can eat. Do you know what I mean? So it's not, like you say, it's not weird and wonderful food that we're eating. It's everyday food. It's nothing weird about it. You know what I mean? And there's so many benefits to what we're eating.
Yeah. And is he like seeing a healthier, happier mum as well?
100%. Of course. Why not?
I just think it just makes us a nicer mum. We're always trying to do our best, and it's hard sometimes being a mum. It really is. I'm a mum of two boys, and yeah. And when you're exhausted and tired, it's not where you kind of want to be. And when you feel better, oh my god, it's just so much nicer, isn't it? Everybody just can have so much more fun together.
Yeah.
So if there is anybody who's listened to this and is going, okay, I might check this out, what would you actually say to them right now?
Definitely check it out. Do it. No hesitation. Just do it. Yeah. Just do it. And just trust in the process, because obviously, like I said, there are now one, two, three, there's, I think, five of us doing it at our school. And obviously, we all have different food groups because obviously, and then we are also very different, where our ages are different, our underlying health conditions are different. So, yes, I mean, I don't have one of the ladies at work, she can eat all the meats and a lot more seafood and, a lot of the food groups, she can have, I'm not going to say everything, but lamb and beef and chicken and blah, blah, blah. And, but I can't have the beef and I only have mussels as a seafood, but I've got lots of fish. So I just think trust in the process and give things a go. Because I remember Susan said, I think it takes 21 times of tasting something for you to actually start accepting the taste. You know what I mean? Because I just thought, oh, goat's cheese, oh, I don't know.
If it's new, yeah.
Well, that's exactly right. And she's so right. Just give it a go. Trust in the process that the foods that you've been given are really good for your metabolism. And it does work. So don't think about one thing I think helped me is the fact that I didn't think about the things that I couldn't have. I focused on the things that I could have and made them really yum. You know what I mean? And obviously, if you're a person who doesn't really like a lot of things, um, push yourself through trying new things. You know what I mean? You've got to be open. You've got to be open, and you've got to want it. You've got to want it because you are. It's not just your money, but it's the time, and you've got to be dedicated. You've got to be ready to do it. You know what I mean? And I was ready.
Yeah, you want the change, so you're wanting it to be different.
Yes. And to be honest, it didn't take long at all for me to see the change. And that's what really made me motivated as well. Is like, oh my goodness, I'm already, on the scales, but also in your clothes and the skin and just everything. You just feel so much better. And you just think, well, this is the way forward. Why not? Everyone should do it. I think it's for everybody.
Well, you said it, not me. Awesome.
And is that the recipe book back there? I can't wait for my own copy.
Oh, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, that is the recipe book. I'm very excited.
Yeah, behind you. Yes. Yes, Susan showed me it last year. Can't wait to get a copy. Yes.
Yeah, no, very excited. Yes, it was published in December, and yeah, very, very proud of the fact that we've got that cookbook happening. Yeah. Awesome, Desiree. So pleased. I'm so grateful for you to share your story and just being so honest. And that's the real thing that I want. I want people to hear. It's the real stories. And yeah, the real thing that it's worth. Everybody's worth it to make the effort for themselves. It's worth making that effort for yourself, saying yes, and getting going, changing things.
And actually, one of my other work colleagues, she mentioned it to her doctor, and her doctor had already heard about it. And so it is getting out there. And that's what's awesome as well. The fact that it's getting out there, and basically what we're doing, we're not doing anything wrong. You know what I mean? Like it's, it's like,
It's just food.
yeah, I think people feel as though maybe we're um, depriving our bodies, but we're not. We're giving our bodies exactly what they need. So yeah, so I just think, yeah, hopefully more practitioners get on board, and because it really does work.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And if anybody listening would like to hear more about how to find either your coach or to become a coach, please do check out our website at www.metabolic-balance.com.au. Again, a massive thank you to you, Desiree, for sharing with us today. And I also look forward to hearing how you go in the next couple of years. And that's the beauty of it. Keep on metabolic balancing.
Will do. Thank you.
Take care. Thank you.